Hey, mathematicians. Let's go over our multiplication strategies page for your assignment today. You'll be filling this out in Edpuzzle, and as you know that. Um, so we've done these boxes before, but we haven't seen these with decimals yet, so I want to go over these with you. Remember, the top box shows the product. So this little section here is the product of the two middle numbers, and the bottom box down here, or triangle, is the sum of the two middle numbers. So when we multiply 16 by 25 hundredths, 16 times 25 hundredths, the answer is 4. Now that's the same thing as saying 16 times 1/4, because remember 25 hundredths is a fourth of a dollar or a fourth of 100. So you can call 25 hundredths 1/4 and you get the same answer. And then we've talked about as well taking the time symbol and changing it to the word of. So I like to flip the fraction and put it at the beginning of my number sentence and saying instead of 16 times a fourth, I could say 1/4 times 16 or a fourth of 16. This gets my brain a little, um, it helps me understand the problem a little more when I say of. So a fourth of 16, if I have 16 of something, dollars, let's say, and I split it into 4 equal parts, one of those fourths would be $4. So that's how we get the 4. You could also say, if I come back up here, 16 times 25 cents. So if I have 16 quarters, so if I have 16 quarters, how much money would that be? So if there's 4 quarters in a dollar, so it'd be 4, 8, 12, 16. So there'd be $4 if I had 16 quarters. That's another way to say it. And then the other two, the bottom triangle is 16 plus 25 hundredths. So let's just say it's $16 plus 25 cents. Remember, your most important thing when we're adding decimals is to line them up so we have the place value correct. So 1625 would be the answer from my addition. Okay. All right. So let's look at B. So this one, they're not giving us the number we're multiplying by the product. Okay. So the way we would say this is 25 hundredths times blank, because we don't know, is 7. Or another way we could say it, like we talked about over here with the word of, a fourth of what number equals 7. So if I had 4 groups of 7, what would that be? So a way that we can solve that is when we're looking at this blank number here, we can take the 7 and the 4 and multiply them together. Okay, so if I say, what is 7 times 4? 7 times 4 is, good, it is 28. So a fourth of 28 is 7. Or another way I can say that is if I have 28 quarters, how much money would that be? $7. Okay, so now when I add 28 plus 25 hundredths, same thing as 16 and 25 hundredths, we're just going to, let's just put that on the end. So $28 plus 25 cents is 28.25. Okay. So C. So now we're getting the 3/4 or 75 cents of 6. So I have a little strategy for this as well. So instead of 25 cents, it's 75 cents. So how many 75-cent combinations can fit inside $6? Or 75 hundredths times what number, this gray area here, equals 6 wholes? Or another way we can say it is 3/4, because 75 hundredths is the same as 3/4 of a dollar. 3/4 of what number would give us 6? So it's gonna be bigger than 6, because 3/4 of this bigger number will equal 6. So here's how you want to solve this one. So you want to take, just like we did up here, you're going to take your whole number, multiply it by your denominator. So we're going to do 26 times 4. So our whole number by our denominator. That gives us our unit rate. So if this was 1/4 of 6, it would be 24. So if this, instead of a 3/4 of 6, if this was 1/4, it would be 24, just 6 times 4. But it's not, it's 3/4. So what we do is we divide the numerator, which is 3. So 6 times 4, whole number by denominator, divide the numerator. 6 times 4 is 3. 24 divided by 3 is, good, it's 8. Whoops, it's 8. there too. Okay, so 75 hundredths of 8 is 6, or 3/4 of 8 is 6. Now, if I add $8 plus 75 cents, I think we can do that in our head. It would be 875. 8 and 75 hundredths. Okay, D, same thing, except for this. The only difference here is our number at the top, our product, is a decimal. It's 225. Instead of whole numbers, 4, 7, and 6, this one's 2 and 25 hundredths. That's okay. We'll be able to solve this too. Same strategy. So what is 75 hundredths times a number? What will that give us to 2 and 25 hundredths? Another way to say it is 3/4 of what number gives us 2 and 25 hundredths. So here's how we're going to solve that. Same thing we did over here. So we're going to take our whole number, or our number that we have the product to, which is 2 and 25 hundredths, and we're going to multiply that by 4. And the way we do that is I'm going to split up my whole number of 2 and my 25 hundredths and multiply that by 4. So first I'm going to ask myself, what is 2 times 4? 2 times 4 is 8. And then I'm going to ask myself, what is 25 hundredths times 4? Or if I have 4 quarters, how much is that? Whoops, 25 hundredths times 4. So if I have 4 quarters, that is 1 whole, isn't it? 25, 50, 75, $1, or 1 whole. So 25 cents, or a 1/4 of 4, is 1 whole. Now I'm going to add those two up because I need to combine those. So 8 plus 1 is 9. Okay, so if that's 9 would be if this was 1/4 of 9 would be 2 and 25 hundredths, but it's 3/4. So just like we did over here, I'm going to take my answer to the denominator times my whole number, or denominator times my product, and I'm going to divide it by my numerator. In this case, it's 3 again. So we're going to do 9 divided by 3, which is good. It's 3. Okay. So 3 times 75 hundredths, or 75 hundredths times 3, is 225, or 3/4 of 3 is 2 and 25 hundredths. We're going to do more practice with this in class, so if it's a little confusing still, don't worry. And then $3 plus 75 cents is $3.75. Okay, so let's go find the product down here. So we're going to do the same thing here. So our strategy is, whenever you have a unit or a 1 on the top of your fraction, like this A is 1/5 of 40. Remember, we've done these before from unit 3. But as a reminder, 1/5 of 40, we're splitting 40 into 5 equal parts. So we're dividing 40 divided by 5. That's going to give us our unit rate. What is 40 divided by 5? Good, it's 8. 8 times 5 is 40, or 40 divided by 5 is 8. Okay, how about 1/3 of 21? So we're going to divide 21 divided by 3, which is, good, 7. All right, so here's one where it's not 1/5, it's 3/5. Do you see that? 3/5. So we're going to divide. So this time, since we already know, we're trying to find the product over here. So what we're going to do is divide 40 divided by 5. Good, which is 8. We know that's from up here. And then we are going to multiply it by 3. So 40 divided by 5 times 3. What is 8 times 3? Good, 24. So really, if you notice, 1/5 of 40 is 8. So 3/5, we're just doing 3/8, right? So 8, 16, 24. So look at here again. So 1/3 of 21 is 7. 2/3 of 21. So we're just adding 2 7s here. So first we're going to divide 21 divided by 3, which is 7, and then multiply by 2, or just double it up. So 7 times 2 is, good, 14. So remember, 1/3 of 21 is 7. So 2/3 of 21 is 14. It's like, let's say if I have 21 students in class and I say, okay, 1/3 of you come outside with me. So if I break 21 into 3 equal parts, 7 of you would come outside. I said, you know what? Actually, I want 2/3 of you to come with me. So out of the 21, I have 1/3 is 7, and then another third is another 7. So 2/3 would be 14. All right, 1/6 of 24. So we're just dividing 24 divided by 6. That is 4. 36, 1/12 of 36. 36 divided by 12. 12 is 3. Good. 12 times 3 is 36. Okay, 4/6 of 24. So remember, 1/6 of 24 is 4. So 4/6, 24 divided by 6 is 4. We're going to multiply that by the numerator, which is 4. So 4 times 4 is good, 16. So really remember, 1/6 is 4, so 4, 8, 12, 16. Okay, we're going to use 1/12 again to help us solve 4/12 of 36. 36 divided by 12 is 3. We did that up here. And then we're going to multiply the numerator. 3 times 4 equals, good, 12. All right, so last problem here. So Matthew bought 16 gallons of gas for $4.25 per gallon. How much did he spend? Show your work. So the first thing I would do is we're going to multiply 16 by 4 and then 16 by 25 hundredths, or 25 hundredths of 16. So what that's going to look like, our expression is 16 times $4.25, because he bought $4.25 per gallon and there's 16 gallons. So what I want to do is first we can multiply 16 by 4. I'm going to split up the 425. So I'm taking my whole number and I'm multiplying 16 by 4. I know that 16 times 2 is 32. And then if I double 32, because I'm multiplying by 4, so if I add those two together, I get 64. So 16 times 4 is 64. Okay, so that's the whole number. Now we have to deal with the decimal, the 25 hundredths. So 25 hundredths times 16 equals, and then the other way I can write this is 1/4 of 16. Remember, multiplying, you can say of when you're dealing with fractions. So 1/4 of 16. Just like we did up here with a third and a fifth, remember we divide 16. You divide your whole number by your denominator. 16 divided by 4 is 4. And it's not 2/4 or 3/4, so it's just going to be 4 wholes. So 25 cents, or 1/4 of 16, is $4. So last step is to add 64 plus, what is it? Oh yeah, 4. So 64 plus 4 is 68. So how much did he spend? He spent $68. All right. So that's your work for today. Hope that makes sense. Like I said, we'll talk about it more when we get in class. Take care.